Welcome to Learning by Example Code. This beginner tutorial series will be strictly showing examples of C# code with minimal lecturing. This could be great for beginners and intermediates alike, or if you haven't coded in a while and need a crash course on code. However, it should be a supplemental learning aid and is recommended to take a programming course or watch another online vid with good lectures along with this series. This is how I wanted to be taught when I first started. But this type of teaching may not be for everybody. I'm going to show two examples of code, and we are going to compare the two programs and see firsthand how each line of code behaves. Take the Hello World program, for example. Take a minute to examine the differences. There is a /n in the right window. The /n makes the console write on the next line, or new line. Now go to jdoodle.com to get the same compiler that I'm using for this tutorial. If jdoodle doesn't exist by the time you are watching this tutorial, go ahead and search for a C# online compiler. If this is still a problem, keep up to date with me, as I will more than likely move this tutorial series to Microsoft Visual Studio. So there's rextester.com, .netfiddle.net, and here's jdoodle. They can work just fine, but we're going to be using jdoodle. And then go ahead and click interactive mode on. Also, the home screen of jdoodle. Looks like this. Just scroll down, pick the language you want to use, and here we're using C#. And now we're ready to start. If you're following along, you can copy either of the code I wrote. The only thing that should have changed in the sample code on the websites in between these two brackets here. If you get any errors, make sure you copied it exactly. Console.write is the same line of code from the Hello World program. In between the parentheses are different. The left program has 10, and the right has X. And the right also has a new line in it. Let's see what happens when we hit execute. We get 10 for both of them. Even though the right has X in it, look at the new line above. We have int x equals 10. We are giving x an integer of 10. Giving x a value of 10. So in layman's terms, we're stuffing 10 inside of x, and wherever we place x in the program, it will be representing 10. We will have more examples of variables in the next tutorial. Look at this next one. Very similar to the last. As you can see, this is another way of giving x the value of 10. Take a look at this next one. Both say 10, but the right has quotations. And they both give the same output. So, what are the quotations for? Look at this next one. Now we have quotations for x. The result is x down here. The quotations gives us what is literally in between the quotations. These are also called strings, but we can get to that in another tutorial. We are also getting a warning showing we never really used the variable x. The program can actually be run without this line, since we are using x as the letter itself. This next program has a mix of quotations and the real x variable. And when we hit execute, we get an error. This is why it is important to get the right syntax. It can be something as simple as not putting in a capital letter where it should be, or the compiler won't recognize it. There, x is equal to 10. If you like this kind of teaching method, leave a like, hit subscribe. If you think there should be any improvements, let me know in the comments. Maybe there should be a little more examples, or maybe I should have explained something a little better. Remember, I'm just teaching the way I wanted to be taught, by seeing lots of example code. If you're still curious or very confused about the other lines of code we didn't touch, don't worry, we will get to those in time. So in the next tutorial, I'll be giving more examples on variables and also operators. So see you in the next vid. Also, if you have an Android device and you like 2D runners and RPGs, my first game, Dungeon Skies, is finally out on the Google Play Store as a 2D runner with RPG elements. And this game is special because I wrote it in C# in the Unity game engine. In the future, I do want to eventually make it compatible with Apple, so if you like games like this, enjoy.